Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, desolation, expenses, and fossils. I'm a useful idiot, and, well, it looks like we're going to war in Syria. Breaking news just today, the U.S. government has decided that Syria has crossed the red line. So the statement goes to say that Assad used a very small amount of sarin gas last year in Syria. And I find this particularly shocking considering I just did two recent videos, one saying that the body count in Syria is upwards of 93,000, and that just got confirmed today by UN reports. So apparently they're using the same source. But of course, as usual, they don't mention that half of those casualties are from the Assad side. But that aside, let's go into the rest of the official statement. So it goes, quote, "Our intelligence community has high confidence in that assessment given multiple independent streams of information. The intelligence community estimates that 100 to 150 people have died from detected chemical weapons attacks in Syria to date. However, casualty data is likely incomplete, while the lethality of these attacks make up only a small portion of the catastrophic loss of life in Syria, which now stands at more than 90,000 deaths. The use of chemical weapons violates international norms and crosses clear red lines." Just in case we didn't know that they're crossing the red line, yes, they're crossing those clear red lines that have existed within the international community for decades. Well, actually, when they say decades, norms that have existed after the Iraq-Iran War of the 80s, in which war we backed both sides, but specifically we backed the Iraq Saddam Hussein regime, who used massive amounts of chemical weapons against Iran, as well as in the Kurds. But it's okay. It was okay that time. This time is a little different, I guess. So the statement goes on to say, "We believe that the Assad regime maintains control of these weapons. We have no reliable corroborated reporting to indicate that the opposition in Syria has acquired or used chemical weapons." Now, of course, that's false. I did this video recently about multiple reports that came out from France, Britain, and the UN that said there was an indication that perhaps there was one attack by the Assad regime, and there was multiple uses of the gas, and the only other people I know of in Syria that are fighting are, well, the government and the opposition. So it would appear that they're completely sidestepping the indications that multiple sarin gas attacks have happened, but most of them were perpetrated by the opposition. And so now it makes me even doubt the fact that there was even one attack by the Assad regime, the government, because now we have, all it took is this one supposed attack that happened, and now, of course, we're going to go to war. And it just seems strange that they can, in spite of all the evidence that poured in saying there was sarin gas used in different spots all over Syria, they're going to ignore all that and focus on this one purported incident. And it's just looking more and more like a trumped-up deal. And I can picture Assad in his office right now, frustrated and angry that this ruse is going to work, and he's got to go. And there's no surprise that this would happen. But because now, particularly in light of the fact that we had this surprise John McCain visit, and putting the pressure on the administration, as well as the fact that, and this is the main point, because Syria is winning, and we have the Assad regime basically taking back territory on the Lebanese border in a major offensive that was wrapping up recently, and now they're going to put the pressure on Aleppo. They've got reinforcements from Hezbollah. They've gotten more Russian weapons, and but here's the checkmate. You know, and no matter what they do to try and survive this insurrection, as I've said all along, the agenda of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Israel, and the United States will prevail. This is inevitable. It had to happen, and now it's happening. So it goes on to say that, quote, "Our intelligence community now has high confidence assessment that chemical weapons have been used on a small scale by the Assad regime in Syria. The president has said that the use of chemical weapons would change his calculus, and it has." So it seems to me that it's very clear that we are going to go into Syria. So I think what we can expect is probably maybe some troop incursions on the Jordan border, and we could have some intrusions from Turkey, and creating buffer zones and safety zones. And also that's where generally the opposition has been successful. So to reinforce those areas would close in on Damascus. And then we also will probably have no-fly zones and combat aircraft, so that Assad loses that. And then undoubtedly they're going to start supplying him with a lot more heavy weapons, particularly as more and more special forces on the western side will be entering, and there will be all kinds of other sorts of resources that will be funneled into Syria to make sure this thing turns around quickly, because they can't afford for Assad to have too many more victories, especially as he's now closing in on Aleppo. And this is the turning point. This is the turning point, and America has to go in. So I'm not sure how to interpret it any other way. I've tried to think of the fact that hopefully this would not be it, but this feels like it. So, hey, America, welcome to your new war. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.